Hi, this is Mike Cuddy, and I'm here to talk to you about my latest project. This is actually the third iteration of this project where I examine three American speeches, and those speeches are the Gettysburg Address, I Have a Dream, and the Military Industrial Complex speech by Eisenhower. The last being a speech that many people may not be familiar with, but I actually think that it's quite an important speech throughout American history. And the reason why I'm doing this project for the third time is because I wanted to use some natural language processing on it using TextBlob. There's a very simple natural language processing library that does some basic things and is very easy to use. I highly recommend it to get into it. One day I would like to get into NLTK, but we'll see. So this is the home page here, and it just talks here the speeches again, and you can click here the link and it'll actually bring you to a speech. I didn't include the speech in the project, so if I open that up and we can just see it, you see the speech on the Wikipedia. So there's the three speeches. I've got my normal footer that I use that brings you all to my auxiliary sites. My about page is the same generic about page. Maybe one day I'll update this, but the main point of these projects is to really look at the data and to basically see what we can learn from the data. So here's the study page, and we start out here. I'm using Google Charts, and this is the Gettysburg Address, and it shows you the most common words in the address. And if I change to I Have a Dream, we see how everything changes there, and we can see the most common words. I find it interesting that we and are common words, freedom for that. And then for the military industrial complex speech, again, we see are and we are common words up at the top. Let's go back to the Gettysburg Address real fast. And we again is a very common word. So here it actually shows you, based on the speech you select up here, it shows you the sentiment and the subjectivity of each sentence in the speech. And I talk a little bit about what that's here. That's basically straight from the TextBlob website. So I can go and I can change the speech here, and it'll tell you go back, and if we go less than that, it'll give you a warning you're at the first sentence, so you can't go back any further. Then here's an analysis, the average sentiment of the speech. So I took the average sentiment of each speech, put it together in an array or list in Python, and then basically found the average of that. And we find that the Gettysburg Address has the highest sentiment at just 0.152, with a sentiment goes from -1 being very negative to +1 being very positive. I Have a Dream and Military Industrial Complex. I somewhat agree with how this is set up here, but part of me would wonder, like, if I Have a Dream would have a higher sentiment than Gettysburg Address. I don't know. I kind of talk about some of my views with that here. So that's this project, and as you see, I basically made the colors red, white, and blue, and that's the blue from the American flag and red from the American flag. So yeah, that's the project really right here. I've decided when I was working on this project that I really want to look at Trump speeches and see how they pan out. And I was going to add that to this project, but I mean, the project is called Three American Speeches, so I just decided to keep this very focused, and I have a PHP project I want to move on to next. So I'll probably come back and do a Trump speech analysis project. But here's some of the code. Here's for looking at the sentiment, TextBlob, importing that and using it. It's very, very easy to use. Like I said, in this project, I actually broke the speeches up into JSON, and I also have them in a text file here. So I was doing that. I forget exactly why, because I started this project like over a month ago. So essentially all my routes and how everything works right here. The store, the Vuex portion of my project. Again, I mentioned this a couple projects ago that I always start with some data, and initial data, so the graphs aren't blank when you load up the site. A lot of my projects before the summer actually had blank data, and the graphs would always be blank, and it looked really bad. And I had the main big light bulb idea, such a simple idea. Why not just preload the data there? So that's basically everything for this project. And if you want, all the code is on my GitHub page. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it.